Aurora. I'm going to read you a special Halloween story called A Very Brave Witch by Allison McGee and Harry Bliss. You're not going to believe this, but poof! I'm a witch! My favorite holiday? Well, what do you think?
Mommy.
That's right, Halloween. I love the decorations. And I especially love the costumes. You might not believe this, but most witches are afraid of humans. Did she say humans? Why? Because, well, humans aren't green like us. I'm not afraid though. I've done my research. Here are the facts. Strange but true. Most humans are afraid to fly. Most humans do not wear pointy hats. Humans are rarely known to cackle. Nothing too bad except, you know, the green thing. It's time for this brave witch to take a closer look. Hang on, kitty. We're going in. Listen, what's that I hear? Those humans saying, trick or treat. No one can trick a tree like me. Yikes! Are you okay? A real human? Sweet costume. That was quite a spill. I'm being touched by a human hand. I've always dreamed of flying. Flying? Have I got a treat for you? Hop on. Some witches, the very brave ones, are not afraid of humans. And some humans, the very brave ones, are not afraid to fly. Happy Halloween!
Hi Pfeiffer-Burleigh families, Miss Achille here. I teach kindergarten. I'm so excited to be able to read you one of my favorite Halloween stories, Pete the Cat, Trick or Pete. It's Halloween. Pete the Cat is excited to go trick-or-treating in his superhero costume. I hope nothing too spooky happens, says Pete. Let's see. Don't worry, says Pete's dad. We have our flashlights. Let's go trick-or-treating, says Pete. What do you think's behind the light? It says boo. Pete and his dad walk outside. Whoosh. The wind rustles the leaves. Pete sees something moving in the tree. Take a guess what you think's in that tree, friends. It's just an owl. That wasn't too spooky, says Pete. Hopefully you guessed that that was an owl. They arrive at a neighbor's house. Pete rings the bell. He hears a strange sound coming to the door. Let's take a look what's behind the door. It's just Callie, Pete says. She's not too spooky. Callie joins Pete and his dad trick-or-treating. At the next house, there is something in the yard. Take a guess what you think's in the yard. Phew, it's just a scarecrow, says Pete. That's not too spooky. Pete rings the doorbell. Trick or treat, says Pete and Callie. Awesome costume, says Pete. Very spooky, but not too spooky. Thank you, says Mrs. Gold, the crossing guard. At the next house, there is something glowing on the steps. Take a guess. What do you think's glowing on the steps? Cool, says Pete. Jack-o'-lanterns. Who guessed jack-o'-lanterns? Thumbs up. Awesome. Callie rings the doorbell. Trick or treat, says Pete and Callie. It's Pete's teacher. 1 piece of candy each. Suddenly, they hear something behind them. What was that? Asks Callie. Let's see what's behind the bush. Oh, it's just our friend Emma, says Pete. Not spooky, but groovy. One last house, and then we'll go home, says Pete's dad. Pete rings the doorbell. Ding dong. Yikes, it's a spooky ghost, screams Pete. Don't be silly, Pete. It's just me, says Grandma. Callie and Pete get trick-or-treat hugs. Trick-or-treating wasn't too spooky at all. It was actually full of sweet surprises. Happy Halloween! Have a great day, Pfeiffer-Burleigh families.
Hi, Pfeiffer-Burleigh families and kids. I'm Nurse Diane. I am going to be reading the book Room on the Broom. The witch had a cat and a hat that was black and long ginger hair in a braid down her back. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as she sat on her broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly, it blew off the hat. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes, on thundering paws, there bounded a dog with a hat in his jaws. He dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, I am a dog, as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me? Yes, cried the witch, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick and whoosh, they were gone. Over the fields and the forest they flew. The dog wagged his tail and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed out loud and held on to her hat, but away blew the bow from her braid, just like that. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then out from a tree, with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird with a bow in her beak. She dropped it politely and bent her head low, then said, as the witch tied her braid in the bow, I am a bird, as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me? Yes, cried the witch. So the bird fluttered on. The witch tapped the broomstick and whoosh, they were gone. Over the reeds and the rivers they flew. The bird shrieked with glee, and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky to the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow, but let go of her wand. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. Then all of a sudden, from out of a pond leaped a dripping wet frog with a dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely, then said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand on a fold of her cloak, I am a frog, as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me? Yes, said broomstick and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy and the broom snapped in two. Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog. Down they went tumbling into a bog. And the witch's half broomstick flew into a cloud. And the witch heard a roar that was scary and loud. I am a dragon as mean as can be, and a witch with French fries tastes delicious to me. No, cried the witch, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. Help, cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon drew near with a glint in his eye and said, just this once, I'll have witch without fries. But just as he planned to begin on his feast, from out of a ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark and sticky and feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads. It had wings like a bird. And its terrible voice when it started to speak was a yowl and a growl and a croak and a shriek. It dripped and it squelched as it strode from the ditch, and it said to the dragon, buzz off, that's my witch. The dragon drew back and he started to shake. I'm sorry, he sputtered. I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly. And he spread out his wings and was off in the sky. Then down flew the bird, and down jumped the frog, down climbed the cat, and phew, said the dog. And thank you, oh thank you, the grateful witch cried. Without you, I'd be in that dragon's inside. Then she filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, find something, everyone, throw something in. So the frog found a lily, the cat found a cone, the bird found a twig, and the dog found a bone. They threw them all in, and the witch stirred them well. And while she was stirring, she muttered a spell. Iggity, ziggity, zaggity, zoom. Then out rose a truly magnificent broom, with seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird, and a pool for the frog. Yes, cried the witch, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick and whoosh, they were gone.